Like, what do you mean vet? You want to look after animals? What are you talking? If you are of any ethnic minority, you got a bit of melanin in your skin, you have probably been raised to accept a lot of toxicity in your life and you don't even know about it. We do not understand boundaries because we were taught that boundaries just don't exist. Why should we have boundaries? Like, what do you mean? Let's sit down, have a cup of tea, and let's talk about this, guys. If you're new here, it's your girl Evangeline, and I am a writer, I'm a poet, I'm a musician, I'm a mother, I'm a working professional, I'm a partner, I'm a lot of things to a lot of people. But right now, I am your girl, and I'm here to keep it real with you. So sit yourself down, grab yourself a drink, and let's get talking. I am of Nigerian descent, so if you're Nigerian and you're Yoruba, you're going to understand what I'm saying. Parents, especially African mothers, did not understand boundaries. Like, you have no boundaries. Like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? For example, you can't tell your parent to get out your room because it ain't your room. The whole house is theirs. Everything that you own is theirs because they bought it. They will look at you like, what are you talking about? You don't have any kind of like, or what's that word, autonomy. Nothing belongs to you. If they decide that you are going to be a doctor, which a lot of them did, it's either you're a doctor or a lawyer. Those are the two options. It's like, you've got no choice. Like, what do you mean you want to be an artist? So when I was younger, I wanted to be a vet, right? And I remember specifically my mother's reaction. She's like, what do you mean vet? You want to look after animals? What are you talking? Yeah, it's a lot of things to be raised in an ethnic minority, but it's our job as adults to understand what is lacking in terms of our self-development. I have come to realize that because we weren't respected in that sense of, this is my dreams and my desires and this is what I want, or this is my room, or these are my things, because those things weren't respected or they weren't reinforced, when we now get into relationships or to friendships, we don't enforce those boundaries. We've already been taught that we're not worthy of them. We shouldn't have boundaries, or our boundaries don't matter, because our primary caregivers taught us that, whether directly or indirectly. I know some of you might be sat there like, oh, it's the culture, it's respect. There's respect, and then there's just, come on now. Leave in the comments, like, if you understand what I'm talking about and you have experienced that, where you couldn't decide what education you wanted, or you couldn't decide what school you wanted to go to, or you just didn't have any say in like your future as like a young adult. And I know it's not just the Nigerians, there's a lot of cultures out there, especially for women. Now let's talk about women. It's one thing being a man and from an ethnic minority, but it's another thing being a woman, ethnic minority. It's like you are the lowest of the low in terms of having your own opinions. Like, what are even opinions? You grow up thinking, like, you just learn to hide. And this is not just women of ethnic minority, it's just women generally. Why is it that we are taught within society that we should apologize for even being good at something, or we should hide, or we should self-sacrifice because we're giving, and it's like we look after everybody? I mean, that's great and all, but how about looking after number one as well? Yeah, there's a lot to unpackage there. Right, let me just take another sip of my tea. It's some good Yorkshire tea. I used to drink like random tea, PG Tips, Tetleys, whatever. And then my partner got me onto Yorkshire tea, and he was like, oh, apparently it's the best thing ever. But actually, I'm starting to see the taste. It's actually, Yorkshire tea is the way forward. What tea do you drink? Some of you Nigerian people are there, tea? You drink tea? You know. Anyway, let's get back to topic. Yeah, what has been your experience? Because it took me a good few years to kind of understand that, you know what, I shrink, I don't shine, and I've stopped doing that because what I was taught indirectly as a child, it doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve my growth. It doesn't serve my prosperity. It doesn't serve my success. It doesn't serve me. Like, no, I wasn't put here on this earth to just be small. So yeah, there's a lot of things from the Nigerian culture that I've had to be like, oh yeah, pack your bags and go, let's go, let's go. So yeah. But one of them is literally this boundary thing. So especially with parents, especially with mothers, like mothers like to think, I'm your mother. What do you mean that you cannot call me at 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever? It's like, chill, like chill, cut them apron strings and chill. But yeah, my experience growing up was, because I was female, I didn't get a choice, I didn't get a say. And because I was the youngest female, it's like, who even are you? I can't say that I wasn't cared for. Definitely I was cared for, but in terms of my opinions, my desires, my dreams, my wants, it's like, what do you mean? Why do you even have that? So yeah, taught very early on that boundaries don't matter, but had to reteach myself that yes, they do. And actually they are protective of yourself and the other people. You have to respect other people's boundaries, and you also have to enforce that your boundaries are respected. I will raise a glass, well, I will raise a mug to our continuous healing as adults, because let's face it, whatever culture we're from, whatever age we're at, we're all healing from something at some stage in our lives. So yeah, cheers to you and your healing journey. Right, peace and love, guys. If you like the content and you're not following me, hit that follow button. I'm really trying to hit 1,000 follows. Help a sister out, guys. That's some good tea.